G'day, welcome to another episode of On the Road with a Pirate. I'm in Melbourne, on the way back to Tas, and I thought we'd check out some of my favourite sites and also some of the more obscure sites of the city. And this one is the cow in the tree.
Someone told me it's all happening at the zoo.
So what do you do when you've got a day free on the weekend in Melbourne and you haven't got a boat to sail? You go to the zoo. I don't want to rain on the parade of the Gundjamara people who had the earliest aquaculture possibly in the world, but eel aquaculture isn't really true aquaculture because every eel breeds in the Coral Sea, so every eel that they retained in their wonderful system, which they then ate, was an eel that could not then reproduce. So unless you've got a breeding stock, it's not aquaculture and it's not sustainable aquaculture. Sorry Gundjamara people, but still amazing historical record. Spot the tigers. Shouldn't it be stripe the tigers? Well, sadly, I couldn't stripe them or spot them. So the last time I came to the zoo was for an education conference, believe it or not. It's the 2019 Australian Curriculum Studies Association conference, and I presented a paper there. But the best thing about it was, you know when you go to conferences and there's sessions that you're really not interested in and you just go and hang out in the lobby or whatever. Well, here, having the conference at the zoo, you can come and hang out and look at all the animals. It was absolutely brilliant. Best conference I've ever been to in my career. The old Tasmanian devil. Probably pining for home, just like me. But at least I'm on the way home. This is one of my favourite places in Melbourne. I love walking around here and looking at everything they've got on offer. And unfortunately, being from Tasmania, you can never actually buy anything because you're not allowed to take anything back home. This section's even more frustrating with amazing amounts of salamis and preserved meats and olives and everything all the things that I'd love to buy tons of, but no, I'm allowed to take them back into Tassie. I mean, have a look at this. It's just out of this world. I strongly doubt that the population of wild salmon in Norway is, it's not that brilliant. It's, wild Atlantic salmon. Whereas definitely you can get some wild Canadian salmon. It's like they're doing some renovations to the area where the fruit and veg used to be. There's a sign pointing up here saying there's fruit and veg, but haven't found it yet. Might be up in the top end. Let's keep walking, shall we? Follow the sign. Having a look at the prices though, this place used to be the place to get really good quality fruit and veg at a really great price. These prices look very similar to supermarket prices. Celery packs are probably cheaper, but apart from that, capsicums, tomatoes, even spring onions at the same price in the big supermarkets. Many years ago I came to this market and they had fresh olives for sale. So I bought 2 bags, and then when I went back on the Spirit of Tasmania, they asked me whether I had any fresh fruit or veg. I said, yeah, I do. I handed over one of the bags. I said, thanks mate, drive on. Unfortunately, there's no olives here today, and I'm flying, and we've got sniffer dogs. It's just too hard to smuggle fruit and veg into Tas.
Take me down into Young and Jackson's. We'll do a bit of serious drinking.
Sea shanties and folk songs, just the place for a pirate. So the Mission for Seafarers isn't just a museum, it's actually still a practicing operation supporting those people working on international shipping who've got somewhere to come and stay. And it's obviously set up with a religious purpose, but it's also got a bar as well, so it covers all bases, which is just what us seafarers like. Arr. So they've changed the name from the Mission to Seamen to the Mission for Seafarers. I wonder why. The foundation stone was laid just 9 days after my great-grandfather Percy was killed in the Battle of Flare at the end of the Battle of Somme. So I'm waiting for my banh mi from O Banh Mi, which seems to be rated as the best banh mi in the CBD of Melbourne. Well, let's find out, shall we? Because I haven't had a good banh mi since the last time I was in Tasmania, because you can't get them in Queensland, or certainly North Queensland. Well, I've got the banh mi, now just to find somewhere to sit down and eat it. Verdict, the first bite, soft roll, and not a lot of banh mi flavour. Whoever gave it that rating hasn't tried a brilliant banh mi, or they're just resting on their laurels. Disappointing, but still, I'm hungry, so I'll tuck in. Now, as far as I know, none of my ancestors were imprisoned in this jail, but a few famous people were. So let's go inside and check it out.
Welcome to the old Melbourne jail. If you came here in 1859 when this cell block was completed, you'd be treated a bit differently to today. And what would you have done to end up here in 1859? You may be one of the very worst offenders, having committed murder or assault. Or perhaps you've just had a little bit too much to drink, or don't have the means to support yourself. We've all been there, right? Or perhaps you're guilty of being a little crazy. I mean, just look at yourself right now. Maybe you're walking around slowly, stopping here and there. Or are you standing still, staring into space? One thing we know for sure, you're hearing a strange voice in your head right now.
Yep, I am a little bit crazy. It's actually quite hard to get a look in the cells on the ground floor because everyone's full of people. Probably more crowded than they ever were when it was actually in use. Cells designed for one, with about 2 to 3 tourists in each one. Ironic, isn't it? So it seems that the old Melbourne jail was set up in 1859 using the separate treatment system, exactly as they had down in Port Arthur, where James was put in separate treatment, as he was on Norfolk Island as well. And this is the sort of hood they had to wear to disguise their identity, so no one would actually know who they were. They were isolated for a time to break their spirit and form their character. Well, it probably didn't first, it didn't break their mind. It's also a bit confronting how we're celebrating the execution of these people, and for me personally, remembering that Jane Harrison was sentenced to death after holding up Bartholomew Reardon, this could have been him and I wouldn't be here. So, I mean, yes, we're in Melbourne, we're not in Van Diemen's Land, but yeah, not sure how I think about this. It just seems a little macabre. The place where Ned Kelly was hanged, among many others. I might just go into this cell here and share a little story that I saw, which was really, to me, quite confronting. There was a man and his partner, and he was cuddling a very, very premature baby and standing right next to a place where hundreds of people met their death without sort of like a care in the world. It seemed bizarre. It's actually been a little bit shocking actually, how I think about it. Ah well, I suppose. Ah well. To all those bogans who get such is life tattooed when they think that that's the actual last words of Ned Kelly. When it's not. Ah well, such is life. So that was the old Melbourne jail. Kelly once sang, I want to see the sun go down from St Kilda Esplanade, where the beach needs reconstruction, where the palm trees have it hard. And those palm trees over there and those ones over there certainly do seem to be struggling a bit compared to the ones growing outside my back door in Cannonvale. But I digress. Anyway, people have once said that I actually look like Paul Kelly. In fact, Paul himself agrees. Remember I talked about the gorgeous but batshit crazy girlfriend I had, Sonia, in the Battery Point Blue Hills Motel episode? Well, it was, I'm just doing a little bit of reminiscing here because it was in 1989 or 1990 that we were walking along here, this footpath in Ackland Street, and one of the Dado brothers, I can't remember if it was Cameron or Andrew or even Lockie, actually stopped and gave Sonia the good look over and then stopped and turned back. And I thought, well, okay, there's some recompense for the batshit craziness, I guess. So waiting here at South Melbourne station to catch the tram back into the city, and there's a 20-minute delay due to a rally. I did see some people handing out support Palestine paraphernalia before I caught this tram down here, but yeah, 20-minute delay back, and we just missed out on, well, I didn't miss out, but you guys missed out on an altercation between an obnoxious racist bastard Australian abusing the shit out of a Muslim Australian, threatening to beat him up, and he was just all talk, but it was really, I could have filmed it, but I thought it might have aggravated the situation. But it's a pretty sad state of affairs that you get that sort of abuse in a public place. Not impressed. Well, that concludes my brief trip to Melbourne. Soon back on a plane, back to Tas for a short time, and yeah, so if you've enjoyed this one, please click like, please click subscribe, hit me up with any comments in the comments box below, and we'll see you next time on the road. Thanks for watching. Cheers.